Today we are going to see about what we are doing eco-scaping with native medicinal plants. Though we are, they tell that Ganesh Babu has done this work, it's actually our team. We have Eco-scape India team, which is just maybe around 2 kilometers from here in our campus, FRLHT. What is Eco-scape? So it refers to a concept or design approach that integrates ecology and landscape. It emphasizes creating environments that are harmonious with natural systems, promoting sustainability, biodiversity, and environmental health. Next one. So ecoscape and landscape. So these two terms look similar, but they differ, though they are closely related in their objectives, approaches, and priorities. They differ. And this is the table which explains which are the aspects where ecoscape and landscape differs. So the focus of landscape is mostly on visible features of an area of land, including its physical terrain, vegetation, and man-made structures. If you see ecoscape, it is of ecological aspects of a geographic area, including its natural features, ecosystems, and environmental interactions. If you see the integration where or what landscape integrates of more aesthetic features, though visual and spatial design, sometimes artistic interpretation. In ecoscape, it is of more integration towards environmental considerations with the surrounding landscape, often with emphasis on sustainability and ecological balance. The scope of the work for landscape or landscape architects, it will be of tourism and cultural heritage studies and urban planning and recreation spaces. In case of ecoscape, it is concerned with ecosystems, biodiversity, and ecological health, often considers how humans can harmoniously coexist with natural systems. In case of plants used, the landscape architects, they use mostly of exotics and ornamental nature. Sometimes they become invasive in nature, whether it is knowingly or unknowingly they bring to the landscape, and least concern towards the native biodiversity. But in case of ecoscape, we use only native and endemic plants. We have great concern for the native biodiversity. The ecosystem functions, we have 4 ecosystem functions. They are nothing in, or they do not consider any ecosystem function in case of designing landscape, but in ecoscape, we have all the 4 ecosystem services addressed. And examples, if you see, for landscape, you can see the public park with beauty and recreational opportunities like Lal Bagh, Kaban Bagh. And ecoscape, there are restoration activities in urban ecology and in other degraded lands in mining areas. So I think we all know about these 4 ecosystem services. Anyway, just I will briefly tell. So one is provisioning services by the ecosystem. So that is like rivers, they provide water for all. And I think we were seeing the one video earlier about KRS. So it was explaining how many ecosystem services it is providing. And the same way, forest, they provide food, timber, medicinal plants, non-timber forest producers, everything. So they are called provisional services. And regulating services, it regulates climate regulation by carbon sequestration. And then supporting services, it supports pollinators like bees, butterflies, everything. In turn, those pollinators support our food security or fruit production. So in cultural services, in India, we know we have so many sacred groves and very divine forests. So they are all have cultural heritage and they provide significance offering spiritual solace and tourism and cultural identity to our country and our people. Next. So who we are as Eco-scape India, this is the team. Next. We are actually part of bigger organization or institute called TDU, Transdisciplinary University, or it was earlier known as FRLHT, Foundation for Revitalization of Local Health Traditions. And it is committed to revitalizing our India's medical heritage. That is the larger vision of our organization. So as a international organizations, so they have received so many awards and recognitions. Next one. And as Eco-scape India, as a center, so we have helped establishing over 0.3 million herbal gardens across India and several eco zones and institution gardens in India. So we are also giving consultations to African countries and in UAE, Middle East, how they can utilize their own native plants for their landscape or eco-scape. And usually they told us generally to bring plants from India and do some landscaping. But we told we will do survey there, botanical survey, in the desert areas and in African areas. And we have identified their own medicinal plants and which are very beautiful, aesthetic. So with that they are started doing the landscape or eco-scape. Our vision as a center is to create healing gardens across India to achieve at least self-reliance in primary health care, and we want to offer or create a sustainable healthy living. So what we have in our center. So this is the unique, as Madam told in the introduction. So we have 1800 species of medicinal plant, live medicinal plants. This is the only place in India. And we have endemic and threatened taxa. They call it as red listed medicinal plants. We have 156. And number of thematic layouts, we have 45. So it is like plants for everyday use, conservation concern, and sacred plants. Like that we have several thematic layouts. And number of species, so in the introduction it was 600, and now we have achieved around 800 species. And endemic threatened taxa, which we are propagating in nursery for the outreach, which we are selling. So it is around 65 species. So as ESI, we give importance to existing landscapes and landscape elements, and we strictly say no to invasive elements, plants, birds, or sometimes in aquatic gardens, they tell us to introduce some exotic fish. We tell strictly no. So only native fish we will use. And we try our level best to maintain ecological balance. And we create aesthetically appealing, ecological and functional and sustainable landscapes. So the images which you are seeing here in every slide, that is actually our own work. So it is not copied from elsewhere. And we provide living ambience in harmony with nature. And we also help, this is very, very important, setting up timelines. I think few of our students, they might have visited this, who are sitting here. So this timeline, which is established in Toyota Kirloskar Motors, Bidadi. So every step when you are crossing, that is 10 million years. So you can see corresponding plants of that from the unicellular algae to today's OAC. So that is how you walk. On the left side, you will see the plants, living plants. On the other side, you will see the corresponding animals in as a drawings and sketches. Next one. So we also educate the community on their the ecosystems, functional aspects, including our traditional medical system, because it is very huge. So Ayurveda and Siddha and folk in our India. So whichever plant, native plant we take or promote, they are always come with associated traditional knowledge. We try to motivate people to respect native plants, which is actually reducing. So that is what we are trying to promote it. So first of all, we should respect our own plants. So many people, I think you will all know Brahma Kamal. How many of you know Brahma Kamal? Okay. It is good or bad? Good. So what is its merit? They tell merit is it flowers at midnight. It is a demerit. You have to wait up to 12 o'clock without sleeping. And in India, the nursery promoters know, they have great knowledge on how to sell the unwanted plants or the plants which are not moving. Kailasataru, have you heard? When you hear this word, Kailasataru, you will feel it is associated with Veda. But it is an American plant, Coropita guinensis. For that, another name also we have given, Nagalinga Pushpa. Because of that, which mimics like Naga and Linga. But it is not. At least Nagalinga Pushpa, we can accept because it is morphology of the plant. From where the Kailasataru came. And Lakshmi Taru. Have you heard Lakshmi Taru? It is an African plant introduced to India as an oil yielding plant by the forest department. But it was not success. Okay. The remnant of the forest, okay, were left out, and somebody, they might have some research papers in Africa, it tells that it cures cancer. But that is the same thing here also. But Saimaruba, we can use it as a cancer plant. There is no problem, cancer curing plant. But why should we give the name Lakshmi Taru? The same way, Brahma Kamal also, the whichever Brahma Kamal you are having, it's all invasive. It is from South America. If you throw the leaf, cut and throw the leaf, it will germinate. So that is a cactus. The original Brahma Kamal is sitting at the top of the Himalaya. So somebody read the name Himalayan plant name Brahma Kamal. He wanted to move this unwanted cactus. So he thought, why don't I keep this name and sell it? The same way nowadays Mahabilva. Mahabilva is nothing to do with Bilva at all. Because they wanted to move this, so they are giving the name. So we should be careful about the plants which we are using. Whichever name they are telling, we should cross-check whether it is real or not. In that also, so many people, because our Indian mentality is to gift something. If we have good things, we try to gift. Sometimes bad also, we try to gift. You know the smokers, if they take the packet of cigarette, they won't allow smoke. They will offer, will you take, will you take, will you take one? Why should I alone die? You also die. So I need company. You see any smoker, when he is taking out especially the packet of cigarette, immediately he will ask, who are all ready to die? The same way, we gift this Brahma Kamal everywhere. thinking that it is a good intention actually. But what we are doing is against our ecosystem. Please stop immediately gifting it. If it is possible, I request you to kill that plant. It is not good for our country itself. Next. And so when we tell native plants, so because already our ecosystem is filled with exotics. So if you see Dilonix regia, what we call Gulmohar, if you take Bengaluru, 90% of the trees and plants are exotics. So then we need to introduce our own plants to our own community. So this is what our plants. So that is what we are trying. We are introducing and familiarizing wild plants as viable alternate. When I tell you don't plant Gulmohar, then immediately they will ask, then you show me one native plant which is as beautiful as this Dilonix regia or Gulmohar. So we should be in a position to show. So there are certain plants which we have listed. This is Hedychium coccineum, which is of fragrance and the color. How many of you might have seen this? I don't know. So the fragrance goes more than 200 meters. And we have, I think, 6 colors in this. And this is one of the plants which was told in that Bhima, Mahabharata, Bhima was asked by Draupadi to bring Kalyana Saugandhikam or Saugandhika Pushpa or Sugandhi in Kannada. So this is the plant. Okay. Instead of growing this, we grow croton. So next. And this is another plant, Musanda frondosa. And Western Ghats people or Malnad people, they will know. They call it as bellila. In Tamil also they call it as vellilai because it looks like silver. That particular bract, though we call it as ilai, is they make pakoda out of that. And the same leaves, if you put it in water and heat it, it becomes conditioner and shampoo. See, other than adding beauty, so this is why we call it as native plants are functional. They are always functional. There is not just a scenic beauty. The next one. And this Hedychium coronarium, another color, which is white. And the earlier slide you go. This also, it is in our IIM hospital campus what we have planted, these planters. Next one. Next. And this is Guduchi. How many of you have seen Guduchi like this? No, Guduchi you might have seen, but this form you have seen. That much beautiful it is. That's what I want to tell. So they never allow the Guduchi to form its beauty. They will cut, and it will be only stem will be there, only one tender leaves will be there. So then they will tell this is not at all beautiful. It is not looking nice. Medicinal plants are not aesthetic. So then next. And Adadoda, that everyone knows that it's an evergreen plant and highly medicinal and very hardy plants anywhere you can grow. Next one. And this is, if you look at the flower, it's very nice name in English. I think this is the only nice name they have given in English. Half flower. Ardha uva. So Padipu. So this is what we call Bhadraksham. And this is also hardy plant. It is evergreen. Next. And Costus speciosus. This is actually commercially viable. I think per kg of tuber they sell maybe 400, 300 rupees. It is. And so beautiful. The leaf behind, if you touch, it will be like touching an infant skin or a silk. That much softest. And if you touch the inflorescence, it will be like a plastic. Just opposite to that. It's also called spiral ginger because it flowers in cycle. So one day it will be one direction, another flower will start in another direction. Next one. Thunbergia grandiflora or Bengal clock vine. This is also fastest, one of the fastest growing climbers. If you want to cover even 200 feet tall building, this will cover and within no time. Next one. This is actually the substitute of Adadoda to northeast. We have white flower Adadoda, they have red flower Phlogocanthus there. The utility is same, and also the flowers are edible. They make so many curries using this. Next. And this is but we don't eat. And in Bangalore, instead of planting this phoenix, they purposely bring by spending so much of money on ornamental phoenix they will bring. And it will look very lean. And what beauty they see, they call one palm as royal palm. I have never noticed any royal in that. Why they call royal? It is like a cement pillar, nothing else. But we have really royal plants that we don't want. The next one. And this is fishtail again. It is one of the, important plants in the aspect of biodiversity, which gives a resting place for bats. And if you see any inflorescence, if you go and see underneath through that, and bats will be there. They remove the inflorescence, central part of the inflorescence, they hide there. And also, the fruits are edible by them, and they make toddy out of it. If you go to Kerala and Arakku Valley, Kallu, what we call toddy, very famous and healthy drink. And Orissa tribe also, they love this. And this is actually, it grows both Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. And this is a beautiful grass. And this is the grass which actually ornaments all our river. If you go to Kaveri or Palaru, whichever river, you go to dry area or Malnad region, this will be there. So it's a beautiful grass it is. You should wash this against sunlight in the morning and in the evening. Next. And this is, everyone know what you call, Ayurveda people will know, Dataki, Woodfordia fruticosa, again a beautiful plant. Next. So it looks like Karnataka flower, Karnataka the Bauta, but it is a state flower of Tamil Nadu. You understood? So they are very close. So next one. And this is another beautiful plant which grows anywhere in desert. It is called in English a desert plant for, it's a Christmas tree for desert region. Christmas tree for desert region. So next. And Dillenia indica, and it is also edible fruit. And this fruit is banned by the government for the human consumption, because we should not compete with animals, because this should be for animal, because it's called elephant apple or elephant fruit, but they love this. So that is how they have banned. You can grow and eat, but in the wild you should not collect and eat. They will arrest you for eating a fruit. So next one. Acacia fistula, Kanikonda or Manjakonda, or what we call Kakke in Kannada. Arakvada. Kerala, everyone will know. This is a Vishu flower, very auspicious and so beautiful, but we won't grow. We bring one American plant called Senna. What is that? Senna spectabilis, and make our Indian ecosystem nonsense. Tabubia also. Next one. Next one. And this also, Sambiki, Magnolia Champaka. This is so beautiful plant. This fragrance you should, at least once you should experience. This is a wild jasmine. Okay. Very small flowers. So cute and so beautiful. And the fragrance is amazing. Everybody should have this as a home garden. Next one. And Nixora coccinea, Chetti. Next. And this also, this everyone knows. And instead of this, nowadays they are using the round leaf. That is hydrocotyl, that is invasive actually, that is also from South America. And when we tell this, they are laughing at us. This is not Brahmi, we have real Brahmi, which is round like idli. We tell, see, it is actually, it is a brain. Brahmi means, this is also called as Brahmi, and we call it looks like brain or kidney shape or whichever it is. But they are arguing the round one is the original Brahmi. Now we fear that whether we are correct or not. The next one, even in the markets they are selling that one only. This is another beautiful ground cover, heterogeneous. Next one. This is, if you go to northeast, Arunachal, Assam, everybody in their house, they will be growing this. As we grow aloe vera as an aspecious, and they grow this fern. Next one. This is the state flower of Assam. If you see Bihu dance, the girls will be wearing this. It's such a beautiful orchid and highly medicinal actually. Next one. This is, if you go to Tamil Nadu, one unique thing is there. Saiva Attukal soup. Means vegetarian goat leg soup. Vegetarian goat leg soup. Okay, Saiva Attukal soup is actually the rhizome of this, which will look like mekekalu. Exactly the velvet nature, and if you are blindfold and if they give that rhizome, you will tell that it is mekekalu. So with that they prepare that soup, which is very tasty and healthy. The next one. So using these native plants, so how we transform the degraded lands into a functional ecosystem. So one case study, I will show you in a few slides. This is actually Toyota Kirloskar Motors Bidadi Mysore Road. So you can anytime visit there with their permission. And this is how the 2017 they gave us a degraded land full of building debris, 25 acres. So in 2019 it was like this. We transformed that into this. If you see the original picture, come to the next. This is how it turned in 2 years of time. Okay, so how beautiful this is. Your all clapping goes to native plants, not even to our team. So they only transformed this. Okay, next. And next. Next. And these are all the plants which we planted. Actually, Dr. Chaitrika, she only documented this and she made a booklet. Okay, so they have given some restricted pages. That is how few plants we have. So otherwise 650 species we have introduced there, and we have got around 68 species of birds and around 102 species of butterflies within 2 years. And this is actually among the global Toyota, because Toyota companies are there everywhere. This has been selected as green campus because of this eco-zone. So that much. Next. Next. These are the birds which they have come. From where they have come, how they identified eco-zone, that and all we don't know. Including butterflies. At least birds they can see while traveling or on the flight. But how butterflies they sensed inside a manufacturing plant, there is an eco-zone. How they came, that God only or butterflies only know. Next. These are the butterflies. Next. Next. So if you want to know some other works which we have done, so you can visit our Eco-scape India YouTube channel. There is no need of subscribing, bell icon pressing, liking, just you see and go. Okay, we don't want any money out of your subscription or anybody's subscription. This is only for the promotion of native plants. And we are strictly against invasive. Madam, another 5 minutes. So, strictly against invasive species because IUCN itself telling that the invasive species are reason for the extinction of native plants. Next. Next. So if you see our ecosystems before the arrival of invasive species, actually, so we were fortunate, the 70s kids, 90s kids are not fortunate. So 70s kids are fortunate because we had seen the original ecosystem of us. We understood. In our village, we had never experienced mosquito bite. Once we moved to city, so there only there was house flies used to be there. Okay, maggot flies used to be there, but never mosquitoes. And if you see, our ecosystem was like this in 70s, and now how it is. You know this on the right side? It's a Congress. It's a Congress plant. You understood? It is a Congress plant. So it is a weed. So now it is occupied everywhere, at least the land. So it is giving that much of problem next. And it is giving lots of health problems. And we are putting our all energy, effort, money, everything in combating, trying to combat. We have not eliminated. Every day we are fighting with. This is about one species, but we have identified at least 450 species. How many? And we know about not even single species other than Congress, I think one or two. So they are silently, they are depleting our natural resources. Next one. This is the divine status of the aquatic water body. It is not about religious. I am telling about the lifestyle. So the white lotus was like Saraswati, and pink lotus was like Lakshmi. The aquatic ecosystem, they were like this. And we used to drink everywhere. Wherever the stagnant water was there, in Tamil there is a proverb, Thayai padithalum thanneerai padikade, means even if you ill treat your mother, don't ill treat water. This is how we were growing. Nowadays, even in the lake, you can't touch, not drinking. How many of you are dare to put your hands in the lake? That's what I am telling. Even Ganga was like that. We tell purest, which is holy. So that was actually human. But here it is invasive plants introduced purposely to spoil our ecosystem. Now we see Hypomia carnea, Icarnia grassipus, Pistia statiitis, Alternanthera, Phylloceroides. How many you want? All are non-native invasive ones which are spoiling our ecosystem. Next. And forests were like this. You take all our literature, early literature, you read about our forest in any language, whether it is in Hindi or Urdu or in Tamil or Kannada, the poetical lines about the forest, they have never mentioned about lantana, no? We went there, or Sita went there, their own lantana was there, it was pricking her. Nothing. It was that much purest form of landscape. So now everywhere, the real punishment for what? Rama, for the Vanavasa. Now, at that time they enjoyed. The real punishment means they should have sent them for the exile now. So they would feel the real punishment. Next. And as a result, this is very sad. If you go to any Malnad region, Mysore, or any sanctuaries, you can see elephants begging. Okay. And they will come out of the forest only on the grass line, that actually fire line they make, forest department. There some grasses are there along the roadsides. So there only they will be there. They don't be there inside the forest because nothing is there inside. They started begging, sometimes elephants demanding. They stop the vehicle and they take. Yes. That is so that is the status of the forest, and we blame animals. It has come to our habitation because you have gone there, you have made the forest nothing. Then they will come to you only, no? They identified you are the culprit. That is how they are coming. Otherwise, why they will come? They thought these fellows are culprits, we will attack them. That is what it is happening now. The next. How many of you like this pictures? So anyone can raise your hand. This is the picture I liked so much. So everyone feel for that. So such a majestic animal, okay, begging or on the garbage they are searching. Amongst plastics, is there anything is there? So this is a situation we don't want everywhere to prevail. At least now we should wake up and don't just promote plants for green. They tell all plants are plants. Not. They are all, God himself or herself created plants for specific regions. He knows, or nature knows, this is the plant should grow here, this is the plant should grow here. When you exchange, so you are going against the rule of the creator himself or herself. The next one. So even only few countries in the world, they have the conservation of ecosystem in the preamble of the constitution. One is India. So if you see this article 51AG, so it tells that what is the duty of, fundamental duty of citizen. It is one among that is we should care our environment. Understood? So we care our environment not for others. It is for us only and our future only. Okay. So with that, I will tell next. Jai Hind. Thank you so much for the listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such a